1940 was an election year. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was running for an unprecedented third consecutive term against Republican Wendell Willkie. FDR had seen the country through the Great Depression and was about to see the greatest generation through World War II, but the election was still yet to be won. The 15th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States guarantees the right to vote regardless of race, color, or creed to an American citizen, a concept not lost on an American president seeking re-election at a critical time in U.S. history. Perhaps his greatest political asset was First Lady Eleanor. Known for her outgoing social activism, she did her best to reach out to women and minority groups. Around this time, A. Philip Randolph, a black activist and head of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, the largest black labor union, planned a massive march in Washington, D.C. to demand fair hiring practices and black inclusion in federal programs. Public Law 18 was passed and stipulated that the program included training for black pilots. Tuskegee Institute was selected as one of these training facilities. Tuskegee Institute was literally built by its first students out of bricks they made themselves. In 1881, Booker T. Washington, a former slave, established a school to teach blacks trades and skills. At Tuskegee, countless lives were enriched through education by individuals such as Dr. George Washington Carver, mentors who inspired young people of all races to pursue sciences. Hap Arnold, commanding general of the U.S. Army Air Corps, saw no reason to include blacks in the civilian pilot training program. Since there were no black flying units, there was no need for black pilots.
The military was the employment ground for the white youth of the South. They weren't industrially trained, they weren't captains of industry, they weren't in banking and all of that. The Army and Navy was their source of employment, and they didn't want to disturb that. The other thing, in the Army and the Navy and the Air Force, they resented the young white soldier having to salute a black officer.
The majority of blacks in the Air Corps were assigned to aviation squadrons, a deceptive name for maintenance and service units.
I had gone through the program and got my pilot's license, and I had been applying to the recruiting office in downtown Manhattan in New York to apply for the Air Corps. And I was told, well, we're not training any Negroes.
The point was I was denied an opportunity to do something that I really wanted to do and felt I could do and should have had an opportunity to do. I wanted to make that choice, not have it forced upon me in the way it was. You know, if I am not qualified, then give me a just exam and opportunity to face this and see if I do or not. I was denied that opportunity, and I still have strong feelings about it.
The worst thing that they could have possibly said, not only that you didn't have the mental capacity, no matter whatever the written capacity, qualification, I had that, but you don't have the physical coordination or the sense of relativity to other things to endanger other pilots in the Air Force, what he was saying, the white pilots in there, because there were no black pilots in the Air Force.
There were times when I had to restrain myself from doing something very stupid and irrational in terms of reacting. I felt like just taking a gun and going out just blasting everybody I could find who with a white face. Getting up on a bridge with a whole bunch of rocks and just throwing them down on cars as they passed under. So the bitterness was there, but you had to try to restrain it in the interest of your own self-preservation.